There's so much data out there where anyone can come into this business. You can go on a CoStar, Reonomy, or any software, pick up a phone number, no problem. You can pick up a phone and call. What were you doing back in the 80s that all of a sudden took you from, mid 20-year-olds to, crushing it in the business so quickly?
We dug in, right? We picked relatively small territories. We worked from 55th Street to 63rd Street. Paul covered Fifth Avenue to Lex. I was Lex to First. And we proctologized every single block. We went, from southwest corner of the block around clockwise, get the information on every building owner. Back in those days, publicly available information was very opaque. So we would dig in, we'd find out who the owners were. We'd call the neighbor to find out who the owner was if the owner information wasn't right. Occasionally we'd call up a tenant and say, hey, we're from the fire department. You have some violations. We have to get in touch with the owner right away. How do we get in touch with them? Whatever we had to do to get that information. Talk to the mailman. Stand outside. Hey, do you deliver mail to so-and-so at this address? Whatever we had to do to get that information. And then we understood what made that area tick. We looked at comparable sales. We looked at historical comparable sales going back years. Who's buying, who's selling, what zoning changes are affecting value. And so as young kids, we'd go out and maybe we had sold 3 buildings and we were competing against folks that had been in the market for a long time. We go into an owner and say, yes, we've only sold 3 buildings. One was down the block, one was across the street, and one was right next door to you. We know this neighborhood better than anybody. We can be a better advocate for you to convince buyers why they should pay more for your property. And that resonated with people. And so the traction that we got was very, very swift. We started putting together market reports when most people weren't doing that. I still have our old newsletters back from the mid and late 80s that we would list the number of sales and what the average price per foot was and what the cap rates were and all that kind of stuff. And that was information the market really wasn't used to at that time. We were very, very granular and detailed about understanding our market. And if something was outside our market, we didn't care about it. We weren't dissuaded. I think that is something that is a trap that a lot of brokers fall into, that, hey, there's an opportunity over here, or there's an opportunity over there. And yes, you could make money doing that, but how accretive is that towards the next one? So in our system, every single thing you did, every minute that you worked, every initiative that you took on was something that would be helpful to get the next one. And so because as brokers, your 2 main assets are your time and your knowledge, you have to use your time as effectively as possible. So if you're doing something that you can make money on but isn't going to help you get the next one, it's dilutive to your overall business plan. And so we tried to do things that would be helpful towards getting the next one all the time. And that's how you get more horsepower out of the time that you spend working.